Welcome to a special edition of the Random Hockey Show. I'm your host, Danielle Fernandez. We are here at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver, British Columbia, and we have a very special guest on the show. It is Don Hay. He is the head coach of the Western Hockey League's Vancouver Giants. He's also the head coach for Team Canada at the upcoming World Junior Hockey Tournament. This year, the tournament's held in Alberta, in both Edmonton and Calgary. We are very excited to hear what Don has to say about being the coach, as well as hear about some of his hockey stories from his coaching journey thus far. So Don, you're from British Columbia. Was hockey a big part of your life growing up in the early days?
Yeah, I think so. I think growing up in Kamloops, I got into to hockey there. They started out, there was only one rink in town, so I had to take a bus to the arena there, and then actually they built a rink about 4 blocks from where I lived. So that worked out really well. And you know, hockey, I think, along with most young Canadians, are very part of their growing up lives.
So you were drafted by the Minnesota North Stars back in 1974 and became the assistant head coach of the Kamloops Blazers in 1986. Can you tell me a bit about how that transpired and the journey that led you into the realm of coaching?
Well, that goes back a long ways. You know, I was drafted out of New Westminster Bruins, played for Ernie Punch McLean there, and I had a real enjoyable junior career playing there and in Kamloops. So to get drafted was just the first step, and I played 3 years pro. Learned pretty quick that I wasn't a good enough player to make the National Hockey League. And I was married at that time, so it was important that I find a future and a job and start a family with my wife. So I was lucky enough to get on with the Kamloops Fire Department in 1979 and was a firefighter for 15 years. You know, I didn't think I'd ever leave the firefighting job because it was such a great job. But I got involved with the Blazers in '85. And worked 5 years with Ken Hitchcock and 2 years as assistant coach with Tom Rennie. So that kind of got me the bug, and then when the opportunity came to become the head coach, I really wanted to have that opportunity, and then it just led to where I'm at right now.
So in 1995, when you coached the tournament last, it was the round robin format. It's obviously a different format now. How does that change your coaching strategy moving forward?
Well, it's at that time and in that format, it was all sudden death. It was, you couldn't afford to have one bad game or one loss, or you might be out of the tournament. So you know, I think that there was a lot of pressure on everybody at that time. And in '95, we were able to go 7-0, which was a perfect record. And I think nowadays, when you have the round robin and then you have playoffs, it really does create excitement as the tournament goes on. And you know, everybody wants Canada to win, so there's obviously a lot of support. Some people call it pressure, I call it support for Canada's team. But I think the format that they have now just creates excitement, as the 2 best teams should play in the finals at the end.
That leads me into my next question. You did coach the tournament on Canadian soil before back in Red Deer. It is on Canadian soil again. This is a group of young athletes. There are a lot of expectations. How do you plan on leading them through the hype to get where they want to go?
Well, the country wants it bad, but also the players want it really bad too. You know, they've grown up watching the games as young players, dreaming of one day being that player that makes a difference for Canada and to wear Canada's jersey on the ice. And I think that you know, you have to embrace it. I think that yes, there is going to be a lot of distractions and a lot of pressure on the players, but I think that pressure is a good thing. I think that when you're a good team and you're a good country and you're a good player, there's a lot of expectations on you, and you have to like that. There's a lot of countries that have no expectations on them. So, you know, it's harder for them, I think. I think it's for us, you know, we have to take that support that we get and use it and create energy off it and just really embrace it.
Current Giants forward Brendan Gallagher, if he potentially makes the team, do you foresee him taking on a role that Darcy Tucker took on in 1995 for you?
Well, those 2 players are probably the 2 most competitive players I've ever coached, and I love both those young men like they're my own kids. You know, I think that Brendan can play any type of role. He can play a top two-line role. He can play a bottom two-line role. And I think that that's going to be the biggest challenge for all the players going there. You know, they play such an elite role with their club teams that they're going to be asked to play different roles. And looking at Brendan, he's such a coachable young man. He's just willing to do whatever he can to have success. I think that he can fit into any role that we have for him.
So which country, in your opinion, is going to be Canada's biggest challenge in the upcoming tournament?
Well, I really think that there's 4 countries that have a real good opportunity to win the gold medal. Russia won it last year. I think Sweden would be close. I think the USA would be close, and definitely Canada. I think those are the 4 favorite countries. And you know, the US won it 2 years ago. Russia won it last year. Sweden's always close to winning it. And then Canada's always right there too. So I think that those 4 countries will be the biggest competition, but I think the most important thing is you just really have to focus one day at a time. And I know it sounds a little bit corny, but you just can't take anybody lightly. They're all good teams, and you don't want to be fighting uphill. You want to go in there and play well against every team, and then, you know, eventually build so when you get in that game on January 5th, you have a real good chance to win the gold medal.
So now the bonus question. Our friends and sponsors at Edge Advantage wanted me to ask you this. If you could sit down and have a beer with any former or current National Hockey League coach, who would it be and why?
I think that Scotty Bowman is always the guy that all the coaches really admire and look up to. I know I had opportunity when I was in the NHL to coach against Scotty and talk to him very briefly, but I never had the opportunity to go have a beer with him. And I think to go have beer and some chicken wings would be quite a fun and entertaining night. Go Giants with the Edge Advantage.